Welcome back, everybody. My name is Robert, and today we're going to be playing Buried, an interactive story. This is a game that is broken up into 5 different chapters, and it's really cool because each chapter is long enough to break this up into a 5-part miniseries. Now, this is a text-based game where you get to choose how the story plays out. I love these type of games, and put some headphones, sit back, and listen while I give to you the world's first robot story time. I open my eyes, and the first thing I want to do is scream. I'm flat on my back, and everything seems to hurt. The trees overhead look familiar, almost beautiful, except for the fact that this means I've been out cold for at least 6 hours. But there's something wrong. I don't remember what, but something happened, and my head. My God, my head hurts, and a ringing in my ears. Was there an accident? An explosion, I think. I remember Dennis screaming. But after that, I can't remember. As I sit up, I notice that my hard hat has been thrown off. I look around the area, but it's not here. It feels strange to go anywhere without my hard hat, but I've got to find the other members of the crew. They could be in danger. Now, our first option here is I could go search for my hard hat, or forget the hat and search for the crew. And I'm going to tell you what I want to do. I want to forget the hat and search for the crew. But I don't think that's safe because, one, if there was an explosion, there's probably going to be some debris going around. So I'm going to say we should actually search for our hard hat because if we fall on anything, I don't want to be the one who gets concussed, okay? I don't want to die. I get up on shaky legs and look around for a moment. A few nearby trees look to have been splintered and broken at the base recently. They weren't like this. They certainly weren't like this. They certainly weren't like this earlier. Searching for the hard hat feels normal. It makes me feel like maybe there isn't something wrong here. I see it behind a fallen log about 10 feet away from me. How is it thrown so far is beyond me. Driven by nothing more than habit, I walk over to pick it up and place it on my head. Next, I walk over to the center of the logging site and don't like what I see. And I think that was good because finding our hard hat is safety first. Thumbs up. A logging site looks like a bomb was detonated right in the center. I don't know where to start. The one load we had managed to stack on a truck for the day is overturned. The trailer bent and the logs hanging off the back. Where the hell is everyone? My head is killing me and this ringing in my ears. I can't hear anything. Not birds, not my footsteps, nothing. It makes me wonder if I hit my head after my hard hat flew off. I run through a quick mental checklist to make sure my brain is still working. My name is Roger Hastings. I'm 41 years old. The year is 2017. I own a small logging company, and we've been logging in the strip of Kentucky woodland for almost a month now. Okay, so my brain works. There's a relief, but it also makes me fearful. Because something is certainly not right here. I look around the logging site in my mind trying to figure out what has happened. Just about every piece of equipment has been overturned or tilted. Now I can look at the debris or look at the truck. I don't think the truck matters here because whatever happened to the truck is because of the explosion or whatever it is that was caused by this debris. One thing I do want to say though is this guy is trying to remember if he can't remember something. Right? He goes back to try and remember stuff, but if you didn't remember something, you're not going to remember to remember it. Therefore, his mental checklist is flawed. He could have been there for 6 months, and he lost the last 5 months, you know? If all he can remember is the past month, then yeah, he's going to say you've been there for a month. I'm just going to leave it at that. But right now, I got to look at the debris, because this guy he's clearly got amnesia. There are bits of debris everywhere. There are fragments of the 5-gallon bucket I keep our work rags in, a loose saw chain, and an overturned gas canister. Had there been an explosion, all the fuel on site would have started a fire, but there's no charring, no burning, nothing. I walked through the area where Dennis had been working. From the looks of it, he'd been moving slowly. He'd only taken down 4 trees today. His metal lunchbox is open and indicated that he had been taking an early break. But he's not here. No one is here. Where the hell is everyone? I could try to make a call on my cell phone, but its battery is already running really low. Not that it matters. The reception is crap out here. I could yell out or I could call someone on my cell. In the woods like this, you are bound to not get any service. And why waste the battery when you can move to somewhere further ahead and then make a call where you're going to actually get the call out? So I'm going to yell out to see if I can find any of my crew around here. Hey guys, where are you? Tony, Dennis, Frank, Joe. But their names fall flat among the wreckage. I get nothing back other than scaring away a few birds overhead. Might as well start walking and try to find some answers. The highway is almost a mile back through the woods, down the gravel road we used to reach the site. Maybe the crew ran off that way to get help. But why would they have left me? Were they scared? Out of sorts? Maybe I can catch up to them, but with my truck turned over on its side, it looks like I'll be walking. My God, I can't even remember what I was doing before waking up on my back. Wait, what's that? Underneath the bulldozer. Oh my God, its leg. It has to be either Tony or Dennis. The dozer looked unstable, like it might roll over more. Might not be safe to get close, but at the same time, I can't just leave him there. I can either go look or stay back. I'm gonna say I should go look, because if I stay back, then I'll never know who it actually is. So we're gonna go look. We're gonna figure out who this rascal is. Who are you that's been dead? Hey, I yell, are you okay? Are you alive? Holding onto my hat, I skip over the wreckage equipment and stray logs to get closer. I can see a bit more of the leg. The jeans are soaked in blood. I recognize the work boots. It's clearly Tony. His leg is bent in an impossible angle, nearly crushed flat. The closer I get, the more apparent it becomes that Tony didn't survive. I could either pull the body out or leave the body alone. In this situation, with something as unstable as the truck that he's under, I'm going to say we shouldn't pull him out, because the only reason why I got close was to make sure who it was. So we're going to leave the body alone. There's nothing I can do for him now. I start to back away slowly. In my shock, I stumble back, suddenly tripping over one of the stray logs. My head collides with one of the logs as I bite the ground, but my hard hat does its job. Thank God I decided to look for it earlier. Yeah! But what's more startling is realizing that Tony is dead. Looking at him, I feel something rising up in my throat, and I don't know if it's a scream or a vomit, but I have to push it away. If I lose my cool right now, there are too many questions that will go unanswered. Shit! I can't believe this. Tony, he had 2 boys. He coached his oldest son's baseball team. He was the hardest worker I had and was one of the most honest and reliable men I knew. This isn't right. I can't stay here. I have to find Dennis, Frank, and Joe. I have to find out what happened here. And we're gonna continue! Yeah, you're not doing too well here, buddy. You look like you're in a lot of pain. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you shouldn't do so many drugs. I don't know. As I walk through the stacks of logs from the last week or so of work, everything feels frozen. This high-pitched sound in my ears. It's terrible. It keeps happening every few seconds and sounds like it's coming from far away. I can't help but wonder, is it my ears or is it something else? The silence out here is creepy and there's a smell, like the atmosphere after a bad summer storm. I might as well admit it. I'm a little scared. Everyone is missing and it's dead quiet out here. There doesn't even seem to be a breeze or rustle of the leaves and branches. My right knee hurts like hell. My head was hurting so bad before that I never even noticed the pain in my knee. I must have heard it during the what? The accident or... Wait, is that Dennis? I see him sitting on the ground motionless about 30 feet away. Okay. I don't want to yell out, because I don't want to startle him. And if this explosion was some sort of attack, against my company against other organizations, so I don't want to yell out, because I don't want to draw attention to myself. So we're going to walk up to him. Because if he's dead, he's dead. There's no point in yelling out. He's just sitting there not moving. I walk slowly next to him. Dennis! Hey man, can you hear me? I tap him on the shoulder. He looks up at me from the ground, clearly coming out of daze. Yeah, Roger. I hear you, he says. Dennis is built like a wrestler and has a tough personality to match. But in this moment, he looks disoriented and even a little anxious. Though I'm glad to see him, the fear on his usual confident face doesn't alarm me. What the hell happened? What's going on, he asks. Don't know, the crew's missing. An explosion, I think. Saying an explosion, I think, just means you're saying, I don't know still, but you think it might have been an explosion. But saying that you don't know and that the crew's missing, I think is very more important, because it also sums up what you said in the other one, and it also lets them know that the crew is missing. So we're going to go with that one. Missing, Dennis asks. Where do you think they went? I'm not sure, I say, but it has me pretty freaked out. Something's not right here. Still sitting on the ground, he looks around the woods as if it was just now understanding the severity of the situation. The equipment was overturned, the dozers too, I say, shifting my hard hat and wiping my forehead. You okay, I ask him. Yeah, just shaken up. Me too. This might be the most intimate conversation Dennis and I have ever had. While he and I have always been on good terms, we've never been particularly close. I've always respected him, though. Sure, he's come to work a few times looking like he had been in a bar fight the night before, but I've also seen him do an enthusiastic impression of a dinosaur as he played with Tony's kids while they waited for their dad to finish up his shift. It's then that it hits me. Dennis and Tony were good friends. I'm not sure I want to rattle him with news of Tony's death right now. Not before we know what's going on, but he has a right to know. This is a big decision, okay? We can either mention to Tony or to Dennis that Tony passed away, or we can tell him Tony's dead. The reason why I'm going to go with not telling him is because Tony, since he was such a good friend of Dennis's, that would rattle him so much. I don't think he might be able to go on in this type of situation. He'd be upset. He'd be traumatized. He might yell out. He might draw attention to us. He might be a lag on what's going on. And not mentioning it will give him reason to go on, to keep going. So I'm going to not tell him just as a way of saving Dennis's life. So I'm going to go, don't mention Tony. I guess that means I did something significant. You didn't tell Tony about Dennis about Tony's death. It's good to find someone else, I say. I don't think I need to bring up Tony quite yet. The two of them were close. Almost like brothers. He'd take it hard. Yeah, he says. Hey, he adds nervously, looking at the ground. Did you see that light? No, I say. What did you see? I don't even know, Roger, he says. It was like this flare of white light. It came right up out of the ground like an explosion. So there was an explosion, I say. Maybe it was some equipment, or this was no equipment, Dennis interrupts, agitated. This huge ball of light came right out of the damn ground. Where did it go? I don't really care where it went. I care about more what it looks like. I want to know if this guy's, like, being serious. Like, looking into the sun, he says, it just feels like someone stabbed me in the eyes with a hot knife. When? I'm not sure, he adds. But I had finished about 10 trees for the day and was about to top one. That's when I finished. Or that's when it happened. You're almost done with 10 trees, I ask? Yeah, he says, looking at the ground. You know, I wouldn't want to take a lunch break until I was done. And that's when the light blew up. Why? You don't believe me? I can either tell him I believe him, or I think he's exaggerating. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am going to tell him I think he's exaggerating. Because if I tell him that I believe him, there's a strong chance that... Oh, there's not even a chance of anything. It's more so like what I believe I would do in this situation. In this type of situation, as a way to keep myself calm and to make sure I stay sane, I would tell myself that it's something normal. It's nothing abnormal or supernatural, because I would want to keep calm and make sure I didn't lose my cool. Now, granted, I do believe in ghosts and aliens and that type of thing, but I wouldn't want to believe it in this type of situation. So I'm going to say that he's exaggerating. And I guess that was significant. You think I'm making this up? You think I got whacked in the head and started seeing things? Dennis asks. No, Dennis, it's just... Get the hell away from me, he interrupts. I don't need this. Get away from me. Dennis, come on, look. The highway's more than a mile away and we could be... Fine, he shouts. Let's get moving. Just keep your distance. We both stand up and start heading towards the road. It isn't until we start moving that I see Dennis is wounded. His right side is coated in blood, the red seeping through his blue work shirt. There are splatters of it here and there, but also a very large red splotch that makes me worry. Are you in a lot of pain? How'd you get that injury? I think to figure out whether the injury is more serious, I have to ask him whether he's in more pain. I don't really care how he got it. He probably got it because he fell. So I'm going to ask him if he's in a lot of pain from it. What do you care? He snaps. He clearly still resents me for not believing his whole story. But what happened to him? Maybe it was being thrown by whatever that explosion was. It's then that I notice that the strange ringing noise is still filling the air. Hey, I say, stopping. Do you hear that high-pitched ringing noise every once in a while? Dennis looks scared when I ask him this question, and he just nods. I thought it was just me, he says. He looks out of sorts and uncertain. I've never seen him like this before. It's obvious that he's looking for some reassurance. Even though I'm his boss, there's something very unnerving about this. We'll be okay, it's probably nothing, or it's freaking me out. If I say it's freaking out, he'll freak out, because he's not really freaking out, but if it's freaking me out, then it'll freak him out because he knows he's not alone. He could think it's more so the supernatural story that he told me. So I'm going to say we'll be okay, it's probably nothing, because chances are it is probably nothing. It's probably something in the distance. Let's be realistic, I tell myself. I might as well try to be empathetic. Out here in the middle of these woods, the ringing could be anything. Maybe a car alarm from through the woods or something. Still, even my passive comment seems to have reassured Dennis. He looks a bit calmer, more relaxed. We both start moving forward and don't say another word. Did you try to call Frank? Dennis asks. I know he had his cell on him today. Not yet. Luckily, I still have some battery left. I pull out my cell and call Frank, happy I didn't make the call to Dennis earlier. Aha! Look at what I did! See? Look at how good I am! It rings, but he doesn't pick up. But then I hear his phone go off behind the stack of logs. Dennis and I give each other a look. As the phone goes to voicemail, I hang up and we walk behind the logs to find Frank's phone on the ground, abandoned. We look around for Frank, but find nothing. Not a single trace. It's then that I notice something really odd. A 10-foot wide hole in the ground, right near where the phone was. But there's no stray piles of removed dirt or rocks. It's clean, smoothly dug, cutting into the earth. Wide, but only a few feet deep. It looks unnatural, like the ground was just deleted. No shovels or diggers used. Dennis walks over to it. This looks like the same kind of hole where I saw that light come from the ground, he muses to himself. I say nothing. My mind is spinning, but I don't know what to think. We need to get out of here, Dennis mutters. At that moment, that ringing noise carries through the forest again, sending a shiver down my spine. Dennis is right. There's something strange going on, and we might not be safe here. But that ringing sound could be a clue to where the rest of the crew went. No, let's check that sound out, or we gotta get out of here. I think the ringing could be a clue, but are you realistically in this situation? Are you gonna go out of your way to go towards something that could be very dangerous and potentially harm the group? I would not. I'd want to stay clear of that and go my own way to try and get help on a road or something. So I'm gonna say let's check the. I didn't mean to click that. I meant to say no. Let's not go there. No. That's not what I meant to do. Let's roll with it. Something's not right, I say. And if there's a mechanical noise like that, do you think someone is out here? Yes, maybe. I think we should at least check it out. They might be able to help. Yeah, you go right ahead, he says with a grin. I'll be here waiting for you. Better hurry, though. Dennis doesn't look like he's in the best shape to be trouncing around the forest, but we need some answers right away, too. I can leave Dennis here and bring him with me. At this point, I'm going to say he's going to be bleeding anyway. Let's take him with us. I don't want him to be alone. You decided to bring Dennis along. No, you're coming with me. I bend over and hoist him against my shoulder. He resists, but just barely, and then gives in. He's looking at me like he's terrified of me now, making a moan in his throat. We start moving through the woods quickly, with no idea where the rest of the crew is. I worry they could be in danger. Every tree out here looks exactly the same. I grew up in the country and can find my way around the forest without much of a problem, but I'm feeling dizzy. I'm leaning against a tree when I see something that has no business being out here. Our logging crew has been out here for 3 weeks and I've never seen it before. What is it? What is it? What are you doing to me, mister? What? Oh, what are you? Hello? What's going on in there? It's a small building, sort of like a mixture of a shack and a bunker. It looks to be made of concrete, but moss, weeds, and plain old erosion also make it look sort of mystical. It looks like something out of the demented version of the medieval fantasy movie. What the hell is this? Dennis asked. I could say I have no idea, or some old power station. I could lie to him? Well, saying some old power station again kind of goes with I have no idea. So I'm going to say I have no idea. Because I'm being honest. You purchased this land, right, boss? Dennis asked. Didn't you survey it? I certainly did, I say, getting a little defensive, but this wasn't here. Do you think the others maybe went in here, he asked nervously? Why would they do that, I ask. I don't know, but they'd have to be somewhere. I want to go inside, not just to find my crew, but also to appease my curiosity. That ringing noise is coming from inside. But something about this place seems incredibly strange, especially located all by itself out here. I bet these folks don't get many trick-or-treaters, Dennis jokes weakly, before attempting a half-hearted chuckle. Ha ha ha. This building simply does not belong. I wonder, do we knock or just go in, Dennis asks. I can tell that he is trying to make a joke, but it falls flat. I'm starting to think his humor is a defense mechanism for his fear. We both look ahead, take a moment to realize what we are about to do, and start forward. We get no more than 3 feet closer when Dennis wobbles. You okay? Reach out and steady him. Reach out and steady him. Definitely. Help him out. I reach out quickly, straining my injured knee. I barely make it in time, grabbing him under his arms and keeping him from hitting the ground. I'm okay, he said. Just can you help me walk for a little while? Just help me inside, please. I can't deny him his request. I've never seen him this week, and it's a little uncomfortable to see. It makes me glad I decided to keep him with me. I help Dennis into the weird little building. The front door opens easily, even though there's clearly a lock on it. Maybe the lock was supposed to keep someone in. It's hard to tell. I still hear that ringing noise. It's definitely coming from in here. Stretching out in front of me is a small interior to match the outside. The building is totally empty. There's a concrete floor and dingy featureless walls. There are no windows, giving the place an even more isolated feel. Still, we hear the ringing noise coming from somewhere in here. It's louder now, more prominent. The interior seems confined at first, but a small set of concrete steps leads to about 5 feet down, revealing a corridor. And we're gonna continue. What will this little area hold for us? Let's us go inside and look. It's a very long hallway, I see. Okie dokie. It's a massive corridor. In fact, like I'm in some kind of building underground. It seems to go on forever. This corridor is mostly dark with emergency lights every 10 or so feet. I assume we're now underground because this corridor extends far beyond the walls of the building we entered. I realize that someone might appreciate finding us here. We can tiptoe quietly or walk quickly. As a sake of thinking, like, I'm thinking these people are crazy going on their head. So I'm, like, not the people that I am. I'm talking about anybody that might be in here or work here. So I'm going to say let's tiptoe quietly. We don't want to draw too much attention to ourselves. If I feel like a ghost, like I truly have no business being here, Dennis leans on me for support. We move slowly, our feet not making a sound. If anyone is in here, I want to make sure they don't hear us. We tiptoe forward as softly as we can. As I carry Dennis to the far end of the corridor of the otherwise featureless place, I see a flight of concrete stairs leading down. I have to set Dennis down on the floor. His weight is killing me. Dennis, are you okay? What the hell do you care? Dennis spits at me. Why start caring about me or the other guys on the crew now? I can still hear the ringing noise every so often, coming from somewhere in here. I look ahead at the concrete stairs, pointing towards them so that Dennis sees them. Can you make it down those stairs, I ask? He stands up slowly and is visibly making an effort to not fall back down. Yeah, he says, and sounds a little irritated. He starts for the stairs without me, and I have no choice but to follow. We approach the stairs, and by just looking at them, I get the sense that we're crossing some sort of line here. There may very well be no going back. And we're going to continue again. Now, I don't know. Is hitting continue a chapter? So then this would be the last chapter here, this stairway, right? No. 1, 2, 3. No, this would be 6. So then these aren't the chapters. Okay. As I head down the stairs, I notice that they look aged. That damned ringing noise is somewhere below, louder than ever. I feel like I'm walking down into the cellar of a haunted house, the light becoming scarce and the stairs take a slight turn. I can feel the temperature drop. Dennis makes it just a few steps down before he is leaning on the wall. He's breathing like he just finished a marathon. Pause to give him a break. We're going to pause to give him a break. We want to catch him breath. Let's take a break, I say, putting my arms towards his shoulder to help steady him. Leave me alone, he says, pushing me away. He's still angry, but also scared, something I understand. So we keep walking. Despite his animosity, Dennis clearly allows me to take the lead as we venture further down. As we do, my mind seems to lock in on the unknown fate of the rest of my crew. Frank is married, and I've met his wife a few times, a nice woman with a huge laugh. My heart sags a bit when I realize I might never again get to hear him belting out classic rock tunes during lunch break. Joe. Well, I don't know too much about him. He's 22 years old and is considering community college. His folks are deadbeats, so he has been providing for himself since the age of 16 or so. Maybe I could still find him, and still get to hear Frank singing in his deep baritone voice after a few too many drinks. I have to make Dennis stay behind me as I stick my foot out in search of the next step. I can't help feeling like a child as a very powerful fear seizes me. I'm expecting a monster to reach out of the darkness, slicing into my throat. After what feels like forever, we come to the bottom of the stairs. We're closer to that ringing noise now. A door sits securely in the wall and looks just as out of place down here as I feel. A sliver of light seeps through, illuminating the area. The door has what looks like a panel with lots of labels and lights. Small embossed print above the panel says, Level of Entrance Gate Transport Sector, and there's a bunch of button with no label. I don't want to push the button yet. I want to expect the panel a bit more because I don't want to push a button without knowing what it's going to do. The panel looks like a diagnostic or alert system of some kind, each label meant to communicate some status. Lockdown engaged, experiment in progress, shutdown engaged. Those all appear to be off, but one of the phrases has a slowly blinking light next to it, the only powered light on this whole thing. Abnormal entity breach. The hell? I slowly push the door open when Dennis suddenly steps in front of me, taking the lead. Let's go, he says. I want to find out what the hell this place is. As Dennis walks through, that ringing or beeping or whatever it is gets a little louder. The door closes behind us with a click. I can't help but notice the wobble in Dennis's step as he lets out a grunt. You sure you're healthy enough to keep going, I ask? It doesn't matter. I don't want to be in the woods right now. He seems scared, something I've never seen before. Angry, yes. Upset, yes. But Dennis is never scared. What did you see? What's so dangerous? We're going to say, what did you see? There's got to be more to it. You know what? Dennis says, clearly angry. Never mind. I'm not going to tell you anything else. It's not like you'd believe me anyway. I've been so preoccupied with my own fear that I nearly forgot about that ringing noise. It had become just background noise. We take a few more steps and I can now see where we are. It makes no sense. Yet another thing that simply seems out of place. The shapes and muted colors of metal are easy to identify, but it just doesn't belong here. End of chapter 1. Wow. This is going good. I'm really liking it. I'm a little pissed that I accidentally clicked something that I didn't mean to click. And that's actually, it's very upsetting because I did not want to follow the ringing noise. I want to go somewhere else. Oh, we got stats here. Respect the dead. You and 36% of players left Tony's body where you found it. You and 24% of players hid Tony's death from Dennis. You and 45% of players told Dennis you didn't believe his story. Curiosity. You and 75% of players went to investigate the ringing sound. Teamwork. You and 64% of players decided to bring Dennis with you. Okay. So, I'm going to say that for most of this, I was in the minority for 4 out of 5 because I didn't want to get that 75% of one. And we're not going to continue on to Chapter 2 right now because I think this is going to be a good 5-part series. And seeing as how many choices there are, I don't know how many endings there could be. And so, I'm probably going to run through a few of them without you guys. The first one, of course, I'll run through it with you guys. But after that, I think I'm going to do a few without you. And then I'll bring it back. And I'll take you through some of the favorites that I have. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and as always, seems our journey here has come to an end. Or has it? I will catch you guys in the next video. Godspeed!